On this episode of Game Shack, one of the best deals of the season just got better as Street Fighter Turbo has dropped to $299 just about anywhere you look. I'm going to ask if the price will drop even lower and what other cabs are going to go on sale before Christmas actually gets here. All that and more coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome on back into another episode of Game Shack. I am your host, JDV for Evil Genius Entertainment. As always, you guys are the main sponsors of this channel, so if you could please give me a thumbs up on the way out the door and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already, we would very much appreciate it. All right, it is exactly 3 weeks till Christmas morning or afternoon as the case may be, and this morning I went checking on all the various websites where you might find 3/4 scale arcading, and I found that Street Fighter Turbo had dropped from $349, which it had been at a lot of places, to now just $299 just about anywhere you look. Really a pretty amazing deal, and it's another indication in my mind that all of these cabs that have just your normal Street Fighter type layout with 2 joysticks, 6 buttons on each side, should probably start retailing at $400 and then drop to $300 as the year progresses. And lo and behold, that's exactly what's happened. I mean, right now you can get the Street Fighter Turbo cab for the same price as you can get a Peasant Cade. In fact, the same Peasant Cade that doesn't come with a riser. So yeah, for $299, I think this is a pretty incredible deal. The only real question in my mind is, will it drop even further? I mean, it's pretty clear that Street Fighter Turbo is the one cab that Arcade1up made too many of, just judging by how far it's dropped in price and how many different distributors have it for that exact $299 price. Now, of course, if you already own Big Blue or this cab or the newest variety that's out for right now for $399, you know, the one that has a little extender bit on the control deck, then you're probably not very interested in this cab. I, however, do not own any Arcade1up Street Fighter game, and honestly, I think if I was going to get one, it would be this one because A, I think it looks the best out of all of the Street Fighter varieties. It just is going to pop in your arcade. Plus, it has those 14 games that come included and Wi-Fi. Now let me say a little bit about the cab itself. Besides the 4 varieties of Street Fighter, and I'm glad it's only 4 and not like 5 or 6. I mean, really 4 is good to go. You're going to get 4 Street Fighter type varieties, 2 turbos, I think a championship edition, and a puzzle variety. So a nice little variety of Street Fighter. King of Dragons, Strider, Pro Gear, Battle Circuit, Saturday Night Slam Masters, Capcom Sports Club, which actually might be really good if you have little kids, Final Fight, Giga Wing, Captain Commando, and Armored Warriors. And if you're thinking, boy, that's a lot of side-scrolling beat-em-ups on there, you'd be right. I mean, this is probably Arcade1up's best side-scrolling beat-em-up cab. Ironic considering it's a branded Street Fighter cab, but nonetheless, this is going to give you lots of play value in terms of, even if you only play through each game one time, that's still going to be hours and hours and hours of play value. But of course, it does have that Wi-Fi, and that is actually the thing that's probably going to make me jump on this cab. And it really is online play where Arcade1up just absolutely crushes their competition. Not that there's a lot of competition, but it is one of the kind of unsung heroes about Arcade1up as a company. The fact that online play is free. You don't need to join a subscribe service to play it. And from what I can tell, it plays pretty well if you have a good internet connection. I mean, just about anywhere I look have this cab, and that makes me think that they made so many of these that these are piling up in everybody's warehouse, and so they don't want to close out this year in another 3.5 weeks with a whole bunch of these Street Fighter Turbos that A, have already been outclassed by the newest game with that new control deck, and the fact that, come on, we know we're going to be getting an XL Street Fighter somewhere down the line, probably next year, right? So all that said, I think that this cab might actually drop down to $249 before the year is out. The question is do you want to risk that? Because obviously people are going to start to buy this cab at $299. So anyway, you look at it, you're getting that 14 games, you're going to get that nice graphic design and lit marquee, you get a coin door, but it's not lit. I mean, Wi-Fi, there's a lot to love about that Turbo. But are there going to be any other games that really go down to that $299 or less price point? Probably not. One thing that's still kind of blowing my mind is that the Casino-cade has not dropped $1 in price anywhere I've seen. Or maybe it did briefly somewhere and went back up, but that thing is holding steady at $5.99. And again, we've seen very little price drops on Star Wars Trons. Dragon's Lair is still $4.99 if you're looking to pick up that cab. There's no really spectacular deal out there other than this Street Fighter Turbo, which is, let's face facts, probably the best deal we're going to see for the rest of this year. All right, well, let me know down below if you're going to pick this thing up, if you think this game is going to go lower, and if you think that there's going to be any other game that drops down to that $2.99 price point. All right, guys, until next time, love each other, and I'll see you in the Game Shack. Mwah!
Be sure to visit EvilGeniusEntertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.